I think the important thing, especially with working with the youth, I think that's just predominantly about education and helping them learn, and kind of like you're thinking like long term, we've got to help these players be ready to compete at a World Cup. We've got to help these players, if they kind of progress through the pathway, be ready to perform when they go to the women's national team. So I think the element of that education and making sure each player gets what they need at each stage, not just kind of when they're in our environment, but when they're away from us as well, is huge, and kind of helping them get to that point is super important.
Yeah. I think that like the educational piece kind of pervades more than just what we deal with them in sport. So whether they're with our national team and whether they make it through that system, whatever we teach them in an individual camp or an individual experience with us, they will take that back with them and hopefully educate their clubs or other people that they work with, or even just to inspire them throughout the rest of their lives in terms of like a healthy lifestyle or movement or performance or mental health.
Especially from some of our younger age groups, like we're talking under 14, under 15, these national teams, is movement literacy and just even the basic skill of what does a squat look like, what does a lunge look like, so mechanics of movement, and then also being really diligent and caring for yourself. So as these young athletes are becoming more invested in their training and their performance, it's okay, yeah, you need to train really hard on the field, but then how do you recover from that? Absolutely. And so there's some education there on sleep being really important, on their nutrition, and also just other ways that they might care for their body in terms of other recovery modalities or stretching or things like that.
So whether that's they're in college or have been in college for a little bit, so they have some understanding of anatomy or some type of science kind of background, or if they're just 14 and just kind of coming up through the ranks, you have to be able to kind of bridge those gaps in terms of what that looks like.
The exciting thing about the youth is that we can really almost mold them and create, and they don't have that knowledge base, so the opportunity is endless, and they're almost these sponges that as much information as we can provide, they're going to take it. And we've created trends or like habits that we can really create these new habits for them and start young, and that when we do get as they go up in the age groups, that these are now habits and good habits that we've created for them.